Hello and welcome back to White Lines Football. Lewis again here today on my own. Haven't got any guests with me, haven't got the rest of them with me. But you know what? We could do a podcast on our own. We've done it before. We could do it again. So welcome back to the 20th episode of the White Lines Football podcast. I've had a couple of weeks off because of uni work. I'm out to my eyeballs in it, to be fair. But we're back. Can't stay away from the podcast too long because I really enjoyed doing them. And yeah, a lot of stuff's happened since we did the last podcast. David Moyes is at West Ham, to name some things. I've had a lot of games. But today, I thought I'd just have a little chat to you guys. Cover a couple of things that have been on my mind. A couple of things in the football world. So obviously, you can see that we're going to start off by talking about Niasse and how he's been booked. The first player in the Premier League, banned, for deceiving a match official, so to say. We're also going to cover the Champions League a little bit, Man City specifically, and then talk a little bit about Gillingham's resurrection under Steve Lovell. So we're going to start off talking about Niasse, however you want to pronounce it. We'll go with Niasse. First player in the Premier League after the new rules introduced in the summer to be banned for deceiving a match official. So this, from my understanding, is basically a charge that comes into play when a player dives in a match and it's not deemed a dive at the time. So later on, the panel banned them. He's been given a 2-game ban because of what happened against Crystal Palace. He ran into the box, was judged by the referee to have been fouled by Scott Dan, went down. Everton got a penalty, which Leighton Baines scored, and the game finished 2-2. It was a second goal in the game. Palace obviously got off to a really, really good start, scoring through MacArthur in the first minute. And then this incident was in the 5th or 6th minute, and then Baines scored the penalty in the 6th minute. So that brings the game back level. It halts Palace's momentum early on. So if that's not given, and it is judged to be a dive, Niasse gets booked. He's obviously got to be more careful because he's booked. And then, obviously, Palace's momentum's halted. They get the next goal still, and then Niasse himself goes on to score. So you don't know if he's even going to be on the pitch at that time. And hindsight is basically a beautiful thing. So, yeah, that was the second goal of the game, which halted Palace's momentum, because we know Palace haven't been excellent this season, especially under Frank de Boer. I do think he was sacked too early, but Roy Hodgson's come in, actually scored a goal now after not scoring for 7 or 8 games at the start of the season, and obviously they've got results against a couple of teams like Chelsea stand out. And yeah, that's quite big, because Palace are going to be hot on their have their heads held high after scoring early on, and then Everton sort of bring it back because of this decision. So the FA Commission, which is a board which consists of an ex-pro, an ex-official and all this, all three of them judged that there was a dive, which I find interesting. So I'm just reading here from the Mail online. The arching of the back was simply not consistent with the amount of force exerted upon him. So they're basically saying that there was contact, but the back movement that he sort of undergoes is too much for what the contact is. Now, let me give my take on this, because this has really frustrated me. We're a few months into the season now, and this is the first Premier League decision, the first Premier League sort of foul that this has happened under. So I think it's happened in the Championship or lower down the leagues, but it hasn't yet happened in the Premier League until now. And I tweeted out earlier in the week that maybe I get the impression that that the board are trying to find something, because they've brought in this fancy new rule and it hasn't happened yet. So they're like, this is a great opportunity. They look at it. I've watched it back 1,000,000 times. I've analysed it to the death. And for me, it's not a penalty, because I see what they mean by he goes down quite easily, but looking at it, there's contact. There's an argument it's a penalty. Obviously, the referee's given it. But either way, it's not a dive, is it? Because there's been contact and he's gone down. So it does look quite soft, but it's clearly not a dive because there's contact. And I think that if this happened anywhere else on the pitch, no one would have batted an eyelid. They would have just carried on. And I also think that earlier on in the season, nothing springs to mind, but there's got to be something that's happened like this on the pitch somewhere else. Referee's given a foul, players have got angry, carry on. But because it's in the box, the board have looked at it specifically, which really frustrates me, because because I'm sure it's happened somewhere else as well. But that's just my take on it. David Unsworth, obviously in temporary charge of Everton at the minute, he's not happy. He says there's a dangerous precedent that could be set after Niasse is found guilty of diving. Obviously the new laws were introduced early on the BBC website now, and Unsworth has said, I think these people will be very busy, referring to the FA. It's a dangerous precedent that could be set if decisions are given against you which are debatable. So he's basically saying the same thing I said, so I'm agreeing with David Unsworth. I don't think I would on a number of things. He's not done great at Everton, but on this topic, I'm agreeing with David Unsworth because he's basically said that it's debatable, which it is debatable. Loads of people have said, some people said, oh, it's a dive, whatever. Some people said, oh, no, it's not, it's been contact, which is what I'm saying, because he's gone down, but there's been contact, which means it's not really a dive, and you can't conclusively say that. And it is debatable. I mean, if someone stuck out a leg, like Ashley Young, for example. Ashley Young is this typical player you go to when you think about diving. Someone stuck out their leg, Ashley Young's flipped over it. That's a dive. There's no contact. This one is so debatable, and to me it really feels like they've just done it to try and get the point out that this is going to happen, and they're going to do this with every contentious decision. I'm sure we'll see, but yeah, I don't think it's great. I think it's a new rule, so there's still got to be some clarity on it. It will be improved later on as time goes on. There's also obviously arguments for whether the rule should exist. Obviously, some people, I know Statman Dave in the football industry has said that, decisions and deceiving the ref. I don't necessarily agree that deceiving the referee is part of the game, but refereeing decisions, you're not going to perfect the referees. So the referee decision is part of the game. It happens with everyone. This is an argument for VAR as well. Like, some people don't want VAR because refereeing decisions is part of the game. That's how it goes. I'm all for that. I'm not really for necessarily VAR in football, but that's a whole nother debate. This rule's okay because people like Ashley Young are going to get caught out if they dive. But this one, it's contentious and it's not really worth it. And this is where the rule's questioned because it just seems like they're just throwing it in for the sake of it. And now Niasse, Everton's only real out-and-out striker, you'd say. Obviously, you've got the likes of Calvert-Lewin, Rooney, amongst others, Sandro Ramirez. But Niasse is probably the man in form. He's probably their best striker, to be fair, at the minute. And yeah, they are going to be busy. I do agree with Unsworth. Niasse has denied it as well. Said he denied he committed an act of simulation. Yeah, they basically said that it was because of the way his back arched, which it wasn't natural, which maybe it wasn't, but there's contact and it's debatable. So why? Because it's not clear. I know that's what the panel's for, but there's contact, so I don't think they should be debating it. So that's something big that's happened recently. Another thing that we're going on to talk about now is Manchester City in the Champions League. Now, Manchester City absolutely storming the Premier League. They're 8 points clear of Manchester United, yet to lose a game in the competition, and in the Champions League group as well. They're going along just fine as well. Played 5, won 5, scored 13, conceded 3, goal difference therefore of 10 and points 15. They have qualified as group winners already, and yeah, they're flying, aren't they? You look at their attacking talent. The 4-3-3 that Guardiola's been playing this season. You've got Fernandinho sitting, Silva and De Bruyne at either side, which is insane. And then you've got a choice of the likes of Bernardo Silva, Leroy Sané, Raheem Sterling, Gabriel Jesus, Sergio Aguero. It's just an absolute joke how good their attacking players, and their counter-attack is insane. You've got Kevin De Bruyne pulling the strings. You've got the pace out there. You've got the goal scoring of Jesus, who's just being fed so many tap-ins. But, you've still got to put them in. You've still got to make the movement. His goal last weekend against Leicester is a great example of that. But yeah, the fullbacks are obviously a very key part of Guardiola's system as well. Obviously, sometimes he has the inverted fullbacks, so they go into play midfield. Sometimes they have different roles. But I think Kyle Walker and Benjamin Mendy specifically have been great signings. Obviously, it's unfortunate Mendy's out for a long time because they're a great set of fullbacks. Fabian Delph filling in there well at the minute. And obviously they've also got Danilo there. But last season it was where they faltered quite a lot because obviously they had the aging Sanya and Zabaleta as well as Clichy and Kolarov. But now they're all out the door. The Deadwood's out. And they've got a brand new set of fullbacks, which is brilliant for them. For me, area where Man City are lacking is in central defence. John Stones is an excellent defender. Obviously, he's going to be out for a while now, injured. He pulled up his hamstring against Leicester, which is sad because, not good for England. Obviously, there's quite a while till the next international break, but you don't want to see your players injured, and he's really come into form this season. He's sort of starting to look like the defender that we had the potential to be. Vincent Kompany, very, very good centre-back on his day. If he can get a run of games. He had that at the start of the season, went out injured again. He's back now. Arguably should have been sent off as early as the second minute, I think it was, against Leicester, when he wiped out Jamie Vardy. He was running through on goal. He nearly scored an own goal as well. He didn't have a great game, but he's a great defender on his day, but he's very, very hard to get fit these days, and you never know, he could pull up, so he's unreliable. Otamendi having a better season again this season, and Mangala, who isn't really fancied, fourth choice centre-back, but paid a lot of money for him. I think if Manchester City were to bring in one more centre-back, maybe Laporte, someone like that. I'm trying to think of other names. Raphael Varane, Mats Hummels, someone very, very good to partner Stones / Kompany, or Stones and Kompany are a good duo, but it's not often you see that. And you've got Otamendi in there as well, who's a very, very good centre-back, don't get me wrong, but he's also prone to an error when he fancies it, and I don't think Guardiola fancies Mangala at all. Obviously, he was out on loan last year, he's out of favour this year. Might be in around the team a little bit now because Stones is going to be out, and I don't know how long Kompany is going to be out for, but I do feel like they need that one more centre-back. Edison's also been a very, very good signing, good with his feet, good with his hands, as well as Fernandinho has really come through the season as well in that sit midfield role. I would have argued in the summer that Manchester City maybe needed that centre defensive midfielder to come in and replace him, like maybe Julian Weigl, even Nemanja Matic, who ended up going to their rivals Manchester United. I would have argued they needed that, but Fernandinho's done excellently. He's getting on a bit, so we might see the likes of Weigl come in the summer, but for this season, Fernandinho's doing really, really well. And they've still got the likes of Gundogan, Yaya Toure, etc., who can't get a look in at the minute. So yeah, basically Man City are doing really, really well, and they're tearing up everything. Admittedly, we haven't seen them face a Real Madrid, a Barcelona, a PSG, or even Manchester United yet in the league, but they're scoring goals for fun. I don't know how many they're averaging a game now, but it's got to be over 3 goals a game. When you can score that many, you're very, very hard to beat. So I'm going to look now quickly at the Champions League odds, if I could just bring them up now. PSG are the favourites. This is via Odds Checker. PSG are the favourites at 37-10, and then Man City are in a second, so 19-4. Real Madrid at 6-1, Barcelona at 7-1, Munich at 8-1, United at 18-1, Tottenham at 20-1, Juventus 20-1, Chelsea 25-1, Liverpool 35-1. And then we're into the lower ranks of Roma, Napoli, Sevilla, Besiktas, Atletico, Porto, etc. etc. So, PSG are favourites, which some people might not like because of the likes of Mbappe and Neymar, what they've brought in. That's an awful lot of money. But we've seen such a dominant Barcelona, Madrid, Munich era. It maybe would be nice to see another team come through. I know they didn't win league last season. Monaco did, but they bought well, and they obviously probably bought the league back. But money talks these days in the football world, and it'll be nice to see that. Their attacking talent is obviously really, really good as well. The likes of Verratti and Edison, Cavani, Neymar, Mbappe, Draxler. The list goes on. They've also got a sturdy defence. Obviously, the likes of Marquinhos, Thiago Silva, Dani Alves, who's brilliant going forwards and backwards. And they've also got a good set of keepers there in Areola and Trapp too. So they're also a very, very good squad. Real Madrid, this is an interesting one because Zidane has done really well there. He's obviously won the La Liga. He's won Champions League back-to-back. And he's shown some good tactical ability in his fluidity in his formations that he's shown. And yeah, he's done okay there. But he's under pressure because Real Madrid, they lost to Tottenham. They're not going to top their group. They're going to come second in their Champions League group, which is supposed to mean you get a harder draw. We'll go on to that in a bit. But yeah, they're already 8 points behind Barcelona in La Liga, which, that's a long deficit to make up when it's a team like Barcelona, because they've got to drop 8 points. Not just Real Madrid have got to catch up 8 points and not drop any points on the way, but Barcelona have got to drop 8 points. And at the minute, you really can't see that happening. So yeah, Zidane's under a bit of pressure. Barcelona, I think, are lower down because, excuse me, because of like the sort of transition they're under Valverde after they lost Neymar, after Luis Enrique left the club. But they're doing okay. They look like they're going to win La Liga, and yeah, I reckon Barcelona could go all the way. And obviously got Munich under new management, and then United and Tottenham, who are both very well game managed by their respective managers. Mourinho knows how to shut a team out. Sometimes misses out on the result you'd expect him to get. For example, they lost to Basel this week. They lost to Huddersfield in the Premier League this season, but he's a very, very good manager, especially in the big games, as much as I don't like the man. And then Tottenham as well, who arguably look like the only team that could beat Man City at the minute in the way they play and their pressing versus Guardiola's style of play and his side. So we'll see what Tottenham could do in their one-off games. Obviously, they've already beaten Real Madrid and Dortmund in the competition so far. So, we'll see how they can do going forward. But it's going to be interesting. We're going to have 5 English teams in the last 16 at the minute. Let me just bring up the old tables. So, courtesy of Sky Sports. Going through for Group A, looks like it's going to be Manchester United and Basel, because United play Moscow last. You'd expect United to get a result there, and then Benfica on 0 points. So you think Basel are going to go through. Manchester United, they probably need a result there to top the group. And then second group, Group B, you've got Munich and PSG going through. Obviously PSG topping the group there. Chelsea and Roma are top 2 in Group C. Chelsea are going through. We're yet to see if it's group winners, because Atletico have obviously struggled. They're in third on 6 points. Roma are on 8 points in second, and Chelsea are top on 10. So it'll be an interesting end to that group, but we'll hope Chelsea can top it. Group D, we've got Barcelona, Juventus, Sporting Lisbon, Olympiacos. Barcelona sit pretty at the top on 11 points, already qualified, and then Juventus on 8 points and Sporting on 7 points. So that's going to be an interesting end, but you'd still expect Barcelona and Juventus to go through, I think. Group E, Liverpool, Sevilla, Spartak Moscow and Maribor. So it does look like Liverpool and Sevilla will both go through there. They both need a win on the last day to ensure qualification. Like in that order. Liverpool on 9 points, Sevilla on 8. Obviously, Liverpool had a very, very hard week going 3-0 up. And then after the Sevilla manager told his team he had cancer, they brought it back to 3-0, so that's a great story. We wish him all the best. Group F, City top the group, Shakhtar Donetsk in second on 9 points, and Napoli in third on 6 points. Napoli doing really, really well domestically, but obviously struggling in the Champions League. They're going to need a result on the final day to try and get through. Let's hope they do, because I'm a big fan of Napoli and their players and their style and manager, etc., etc. Group G, Besiktas and either Porto or Leipzig to go through, and then Group H, we've got Spurs and Madrid through. Spurs topping the group there, which is good to see. So basically, the rules of the Champions League, obviously, if you're winning your group, you're going to get a team coming second in their group. So City will go to their group, have won their group, so they're going to get a Madrid, a Porto or Leipzig, a Sevilla maybe. Maybe a Liverpool, that would be interesting. A Juventus, a Roma, maybe a Atletico, etc., etc. Munich. So it's not going to be easy, because obviously the likes of Madrid and Munich have come second in their group. But at the minute, you do feel like this City team could beat anyone. I went on a bit of track there, talking about the Champions League, but a bit of context for it. So obviously, you look at City and you're thinking they could beat anyone. Their real test will come when they face Manchester United early December, but depending on who they get in the last 16, would you fancy him to beat Munich or Madrid at the minute? I'd fancy him to beat Madrid at the minute. You're looking at Munich, obviously under new management again. It'd be a hard game, but if City want to win the Champions League, they have to beat these teams eventually. Alternatively, they could get a Basel, who'd more than expect them to beat. or at Liverpool, which we've seen them do this season already absolutely dismantle them in the Premier League. So yeah, basically, what I'd like to see is just looking to bring the odds up again. I'd like to see a PSG Man City final if they don't meet before that. I think that'd be a great game of attack versus attack, and then which defence can hold out the best. I do like Guardiola. I'm a really big fan of him. He is an idol of mine. So I'd be supporting City to win the Champions League if it went like that. So let's hope they could do it, because it's been a while since England have really had some success in the Champions League. There's rumours that it was soon going to be knocked down to 3 teams qualifying rather than the 4. And yeah, now we've got 5, and it seems we have taken advantage of it, with it looking like all of them are going to go through. And hopefully we'll see them progress further and further, and we might see some good adverts for English football. But I like to see a Man City PSG final. They could do well. Like I say, they're scoring so many goals a game. If they could shore themselves up defensively and sort of prove that they have a good defence, then I don't see why they couldn't go on to win the Champions League with Guardiola's wits. He's done it before. So it would be nice to see that happen. It's definitely a very good season for Champions League football, though. So finally, from one side of the football to another, we're going to move over to Gillingham. Obviously, my team, Gillingham Football Club, as you know, if you've seen the vlogs. If you've been watching the match vlogs, then you would know that we started off the season with AD Pinnock in charge. That didn't work out. He was moved out the team, the club, with Jamie Day, one of his head coaches as well. And his other head coach, Steve Lovell, stayed on. So I questioned it a bit. You know, Lovell as much as they were. And yeah, he stayed on. And Peter Taylor, hard director of football, took charge. He's been in charge of us twice before. That didn't go to plan at all. We saw some really dull games, like a 0-0 draw against Scunthorpe, a 1-0 loss on TV against Portsmouth, which was awful. And then Taylor was moved out as well. And we were like, okay, we don't have a director of football. Maybe the guy Taylor Scally's looking to bring in isn't going to need a director of football. We approached Steve Evans, we know that. Martin Allen was interested. But while all this was going on, Steve Lovell was in charge. Gillingham legend, lives on my road as well, actually. Steve Lovell was in charge, plodding along with the team. Never managed at this level before. He's been at like Hastings before, but never managed at this level before. Went to Steve Lovell's first game away to Peterborough. You've seen the vlog on the channel. Go and see it if you haven't. We got the 1-0 win, and at the time, I could not remember the last time I saw us playing such free-flowing attacking football. Lee Martin was doing excellently behind the strikers. Elliot List and Josh Parker were using their pace. They were winning headers. They're not the tallest. Mark Bone and Jake Hesentide doing their defensive work. Sean Clare's playing at right back. He's doing amazing. And I was like, hang on, we've done really well here. We're going to the next game against Wigan. We're 1-0 up. Hang on, what's happening? We're playing football. We're Gillingham Football Club. We haven't played football in ages. We can get the equaliser, but, you know, a point against league favourites and top of the table at the time, Wigan Athletic, is a very good point. The next game, I missed. I was ill. We lost 2-1 to Northampton. Okay, back down to earth. Fans are sort of saying, like, nah, Lovell's not the guy. Because we should have won that game. Northampton below us, they were struggling, hadn't won in 7 or 8 at the time. And I wasn't at the game, but reports say we played well. But we didn't get the result. Next game, we went to Rotherham away. They had an insane home form. They've scored so many goals this season at home. Josh Yeardley, friend of the channel, Rotherham fan, was confident they were going to blow us away with the likes of Moore, Taylor, many, many more. You've seen the vlog. We got a 3-1 win. What an away day that was. So, you know, Lovell's got us playing football. We're scoring goals. That's what we want to see. We're really, really struggling. At the time, we're going to the FA Cup. We beat Lane Orient 2-1, a well-game managed game, into the next round against Carlisle at home. Hopefully we can see that through as well, and then get a big draw away against Premier League opposition. An anomaly here, Gillingham 7, Reading under 21s 5, so excuse me. That you've seen the vlog for that on the channel as well, but that was insane. It wasn't really the first team. It's Checkatrade Trophy. It's hard to assess that as a performance, but again we got a result under Lovell. Next game, so Gillingham versus Bury, an absolutely massive game, and people saying, you know, we're favourites. Bury struggling as well. Don't have a manager. Ryan Lowe's in charge of them at the time, who's literally still a player. And I think we need to get a result here, because The only thing Lovell hasn't done so far is win at Priestfield / win a game when we're favourites, which has only been at Priestfield. So Bury go 1-0 up. It wasn't a great performance from the Gills, but we got a point. Josh Parker late on got the goal. We equalised and we get a point. Okay, we'll take it. We're still undefeated. Go to Walsall. Couple of away games in a few days. Blackpool and Walsall. Wasn't there at either of the games, but we get a win against Walsall. Quality result. Connor Wilkinson getting his first goal in the league. He's had a kick up the arse under Lovell. And yeah, we've got a win. Got away to Blackpool. Long journey. 90th minute equaliser. Tom Eaves. We've got another point. So Lovell has got us out of relegation. A lovely jubbly. And I've heard Matt say from Gills in the Blood that, you know, last season, the thing that helped us was we never went below the line. If we ever went below that relegation line, it was hard to see us coming back out of it. And I think we've shown great characters come out of it so far. We currently sit 20th after 19 games played, on 19 points. And then results going our way this weekend, we can move up to 15th, I think. So, you know, but alternatively, we could go back down to 23rd. So it is tight and we need to keep getting results. We have Oldham this weekend. There'll be a vlog out for that. But yeah, I think under Lovell, the way we're playing and the way our form is, I don't think we're going to go down. Under Pinnock, under Taylor, it was almost guaranteed. I'm just looking for some stats now that I've seen on Twitter. This is courtesy of the Last Walks blog, okay? Check them out. Great Gills channel. They're getting back in the swing of things after a little bit of time off. They've released basically a set of stats where... what do I type? There it is. Oh, bloody hell, the Labour Party. Don't want to search them. Basically, they've released a set of stats that sort of shows this season before Lovell and this season under Lovell. Just wait for it to load now. But basically, it basically says how much of an improvement there's been under Lovell and how we're playing expressive football, how we're playing better football. And it is great to see because start of this season, we sort of said, okay, we're going to be better defensively, which we have been under Pennick and Taylor, either way. But we're going to struggle at top, and we had. Games played before level 12, after level 7, so wins 1 in 12 before, 3 and 7 after, already an improvement. 7 points before, 12 points after. Average points per game, 0.58 before, 0.71 after. That's the main thing, isn't it? Getting points per game and 0.58 points per game, you're not going to stay up on that. That's a joke. Goals scored before 6, after 9, and that's in fewer games as well, 5 fewer games. Average goals per game, 0.5 before, 1.28 after. Like I say, Tom Eaves is scoring, Josh Parker's scoring. It's brilliant to see. Goals conceded before 16, after 6. So obviously it's less than one goal a game now. Before it was over 1 goal a game. So, you know, it's the stats show that we've improved under Lovell, and so do the performances on the pitch. A few players that have really improved under him. Who am I going to say? Lee Martin. He's makes some weird decisions at times, but he's been given a bit more freedom. First game, especially behind Peterborough. Behind the striker, is very, very good on the ball. Got the goal in that game as well. Another person that's improved under Steve Lovell is Josh Parker. Been playing on the left of midfield, but he's got a lot of goals. Been getting forward a lot more. Got a brace against Rotherham. Also scored against Bury. It's great to see because he came up for a non-league. People questioned his signing, but he's done really, really well. Another player to improve, Max Amer. He had an interesting start to the season, but under Steve Lovell, he's been an ever-present, apart from the Blackpool game after he was sent off other weekend against Walsall, but we still got the result. And yeah, I've been a big critic of Max Amer, you know that, but he's due his credit because he's been really, really good this season in the centre of defence, especially with the likes of Nugent, Lacey, out, Zakwani and international duty sometimes. And it's basically been really, really good because if he wasn't in form, we would have really struggled, I think, defensively. It was shown in the Reading game beforehand. Conceded, I think it was 1 goal before half-time, but we went on to concede 5 because Amer went off. His seniorship and his leadership skills was really, really important there. And another player that's improved as well, Connor Wilkinson, because Connor Wilkinson, when we signed him, Oldham and Bolton fans were saying, no, he's not a good signing. But we said, you know, he fits the bill. He's still young. Why not give him a chance? And he came in and, my gosh, so many fans are critical of his. It's clear he had talent, but he did not run ever. He did not close down. He did not do anything. He didn't jump for headers. And it was so painful to see. And he got a lot of stick. Lovell came in, gave him a kick up the arse and sort of told him, you need to put yourself around. Dropped him for a few games, wasn't involved. Came in against Reading, got his first competitive goal for the club. And then he came on against Bury at half-time when we were struggling, and we battered their goal with crosses with Eves and Wilkinson up top, and Wilkinson played really well. And we're like, hang on, he's actually putting himself around here. Got his goal against Walsall as well. Started against Blackpool too. So let's hope this is a little start of something special for Wilkinson. Sometimes he looks like he could still run a bit more, but you know, it's better, and hopefully Lovell can keep that coming out of him. He looks like he's got the best out of players, and he's really, really got us playing football really well. And I'm looking forward to it, because recently Lovell has been given the job full-time, which is good to see. I haven't done a vlog yet since he's been appointed full-time, but he has been appointed full-time at least till the end of the season. Scally said he would have done it earlier if we didn't have a massive court case with centre plate. But yeah, it's great to see. I'm just going to go on the Gillingham Twitter now, because they've released a statement about the centre plate thing, because the court case is obviously finished, and I believe we were awarded a little bit of money. Well, due to be awarded. I'm going to read the outcome of it now. If you don't know the backstory behind this, basically, we signed a contract with Centre Plate Catering Company. They walked out on us. We went quiet, and we took it to court. And the court judgment has now been concluded. So, Gillingham. Okay, here we go. Gillingham Football Club. This is a Gillingham statement. What's this? Continue to side. Gillingham Football Club wins highest scoring game yet in court case against bullying and blackmail and catering providers. Opponents will be kicking themselves for turning down a £1.5 million what? A £1.50 apparently, but I'm sure it means, don't even know. Gillingham have just won a massive payout approaching £1.4 million in high stakes court with battle with bullying catering giant Centre Plate over a serious breach contract. The case was heard in the High Court in London. In addition to the almost £1.4 million damages that Centre Plate now has to pay the club, the caterer is also to pay both sides legal costs. Likely to be an eye-watering further £1 million. The catering bully will now be kicking itself. It refused a £1.5 million all-in settlement deal offered by the club. There we go. In 2014, that's what you call an own goal. Gillingham's court victory comes hot on the heels of more good news to the club. Last night's draw from Blackpool lifts them out the relegation zone. It's Friday. We didn't draw last night anyway. Looks like the club's fortunes are turning around. The court case revolved around Centre Place bailing out a 28k per month guaranteed payment contract for providing all food to the club's Priestfield Stadium from banqueting to burger stand. In March 2015, they simply walked out mid-season in a manner which the judge described as a moonlight flit, leaving the club and its supporters completely in the lurch. The caterers denied liability until July 6, 2016. They admitted it, I know that, and they offered a settlement. Last week it announced it's being bought out by one of the world's largest multinational companies. No one cares. In unusually strong language for a judge, in his judgment, Sir Alistair Macduff described the caterers' behaviour as disgraceful bullying. Wow. And said they had engaged in blackmail, stressing there were words he himself was introduced into the case. Well, that's interesting. He said the company's behaviour was wholly unprofessional, something which it should be ashamed of. In stark contrast, he described Gillingham Football Club's chairman Paul Scally as admirable and praised him for his run of the club. Well, that's questionable, but we'll take the money and run. This is a case where the club has to stand up to the catering Goliath. Mr. Scally has been completely vindicated for his decision to persevere with it. The case which put the club under significant financial pressure for the past 2.5 years. So basically, we've got some dollar. Chairman Paul Scally says To say the past 2.5 years have been stressful and challenging would be an understatement. Against the background of personal ill health resulting in major heart surgery last October, I have just about hung on to the case, which has been difficult and draining due to the disgraceful manner in which Centreplate and its CEO and Chief Legal Talent Officer, Keith King, conducted themselves. Adrian Dishington is the CEO for the UK firm. It's never in doubt. We'd like to thank our legal team, etc., etc. So basically, we've been awarded $1, and Centreplate are also paying our legal fees, which is excellent to see, because it has been a stressful time under the last 2.5 years since they walked out. We always sort of live off free transfers, etc. But the squad this year is cheap. But now we've got a bit more money. I don't know how much of that will go into the club, but it's nice because we'll be more financially stable now, which is good to see. And also, this is off our back. We do have another court case with Justin Edinburgh, I believe, our ex-manager. But I don't personally know where that stands at the minute. I'm not sure a lot of fans do, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Maybe it's already concluded, but it's good to see. We've been awarded the money, and we'll move forward. So, like I say, just to add that on, we've got the money. £1.4 million is a lot of money for a club of Gillingham State. It's in League One. Pushing forward under Steve Lovell, getting results, and it looks like happy times for the club. So that's put me in a good mood. That is excellent to see. So yeah, that basically wraps up the football news. This evening we have launched the new channel for White Lines Media, which is WhiteLinesCricket. Myself, Sam, and Ibs. Sam used to run our socials. He's now going to be running WhiteLinesCricket. So head over to WhiteLinesCricket. I'll put the link to that in the description. Subscribe over there, and then obviously that's going to be the cricket channel for the company. So yeah, good to see. Shout out to Jim for the channel art, and obviously Nathan for the thumbnails, etc. Lewis Hart is also doing the socials now at White Lines Media on Twitter, and we're aiming to get the Instagram back up again soon. Hopefully it's big times for us. Hopefully it's big time for Gills. We've got Oldham tomorrow at home. Be a vlog out for that on Sunday. And yeah, excellent news. Really happy with that. That money. So yeah, hope you did enjoy. Hope you did enjoy me being on my own. If you did, please remember to like, subscribe, comment down below, follow everything in the description. All the graphic designers, League One podcast, check out them, our partners. WhiteLinesCricket as well as WhiteLinesF1 as well. Don't forget about them. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and I hope you did enjoy it. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.